Are the Cowboys contenders? I do think currently standing, they're the best team in the NFC East. Um, but it's close. I'm not gonna. Them and the Eagles are close. It's still the race is still on. The one thing about the Cowboys where I feel if they still had Kellen Moore, guys, I'd be really riding this train a lot harder. But they don't, and I just really don't have faith in Mr. Mike McCarthy calling plays. I don't have faith in him as a head coach. I don't have faith in him as an offensive coordinator. Last time he was calling plays, I believe Aaron Rodgers said this, or it was reported, whatever. The scheme became archaic. It was like there were cobwebs and dust all over him. So I don't know what that means for Dak. You guys know the stat I always love to pull out. In the time Kellen Moore was the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, they were number 2 in total yards to only the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. And Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, I should mention. But, I love this move for the Cowboys. Brandin Cooks, they get that speedster. They have been lacking explosion. They lacked explosion all last year, except for Tony Pollard. He provided that. But other than Pollard, the explosion wasn't really there. CD is more of a possession guy. He's going to make those tough, difficult catches. He's going to run his routes perfectly, but he's not yards after catch. He's not elite at it. So now they got that guy in Gallup. Obviously he was coming off the torn ACL. He should be back a lot better now. We should remember Gallup. That guy was really good 2 years ago. Now he's going to be another year healthier. They got 3 guys there. It's looking good. I just saw a report. Apparently, they're I deleted the report off my notifications, but apparently they restructured Brandin Cook's contract. So that's good because I know he was making like 20 million a year, which is
It was a $26 million cap hit for this season.
yeah. So I think I saw them restructure it. So they probably saved a little bit of money this year. They got to push it down the line, obviously. But yeah, and like I mentioned, I love the Stephon Gilmore move. They got 2 number 1 corners. I believe they got the best cornerback duo in the NFL. And if Jordan Lewis is able to get healthy and live up to the hype, that three man trio right there, that's a pretty good 3-man trio for cornerbacks. They re-signed Leighton Vander Esch. You still got Mayo Micah, uh, D Law. So yeah, now they just got to fill up some other holes. They might draft a running back late, get a power guy, like I said, Thundering Lightning. Tony Pollard's coming off an injury, so I think it actually would be smart for them to draft a running back in the 3rd, maybe even 2nd round. But I love the move that Dallas is doing. It's just, man, all that good I just said. It's Mike McCarthy's calling plays. Damn it.
Mike McCarthy calling plays seems a little desperate to me, with things going on in Dallas. It seems like things need to go right for him to save face for his job. But I'm with you 100% when you throw in Kellen Moore. If you have Kellen Moore there, you feel so much more, I guess, optimistic about the move. And while regardless, adding Brandin Cooks into the fold is great, great for Dak Prescott. And I feel like personally, Brandin Cooks is one of the more underrated wide receivers in the game for a very long time. It's really hard to believe that he hasn't stuck around for a team. I think the longest that he's been with a team was his time with Houston. His 3 years in Houston and his 3 years with the Saints. And then since then, he's just been bouncing around. So, but he can put up 1,000 yards. He did it with Davis Mills. So I think this is an awesome addition for Dallas. It's just a matter of fact are we going to get a different version of Dak Prescott, the not so turnover friendly version of him? No Kellen Moore. This offense might look a little different, might scheme a little different. No Zeke Elliott for the first time in a long time. And that's so weird to say. Even though Tony Pollard exploded onto the scene, you lose that bruiser back that you had in Zeke in the red zone that you can count on. So
No
there's a
Schultz
lot.
either. They
Yeah,
haven't.
no Schultz. Is he
Restricted
just
like
gone? They're not even
they
attempting to
haven't
resign him.
resigned. He's still a free agent. I think he probably cost too much money for him to get.
Yeah,
They might draft one. The class is pretty deep.
class is deep. So the no Schultz also. Schultz is a big target for Dak. There's still questions in Dallas. I'm not gonna go and jump and say contender because as I've said before, I feel like the same way we joke around about, well, you joke around about the Knicks saying we're gonna nick or the Jets are gonna jet. I kind of feel that way about the Cowboys, where what can go wrong does go wrong. So the true test for them is I expect this team to make the playoffs no matter what. Adding a skill player of Brandin Cook's caliber is explosive, but it comes down to playoff football, and hopefully Brandin Cooks is healthy for that.
This is the fourth time in Brandin Cook's career he's been traded. And he's also been traded for 2 first-round picks in the past as well. This for the Cowboys is an absolute steal. You restructure his contract, so what it's going to be is the Texans are going to pay around $6 million of his $24 million. And so that for the Cowboys leaves them around 18, give or take. But the value that you're giving up is nothing. A day 3 pick this year and a day 3 pick next year. You add him to a wide receiver room where, as Brandon said, you lacked the number 2. Michael Gallup in his second season had 1,100 yards. Now he's coming off a torn ACL. He didn't look quite the same this year, but you make him your third receiver. You draft Jake Ferguson last year in the 4th round of the draft. Even if you don't bring back Schultz like Brandon alluded to, this tight end class has about 6-7 guys who are all day 2 caliber. And of course, guys, some guys at the top of the class are going to be absolute beasts. So for Dallas, this offensively gives everything Dak Prescott needs. Ezekiel Elliott is replaceable. He's a short yardage, get me an extra first down, 3rd and 1 type of back. You can find that for much cheaper. So you give him 3 receivers, one of the most explosive running backs, an offensive line where last year you invested into it, you invested into the tackle spot. There are no more excuses for Dak Prescott, Cowboy fans. I've heard you ad nauseum talk about, oh, Kellen Moore's not this good player caller. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. All these other NFL teams have way larger offensive concerns. You guys give your quarterback everything he needs, and yet you still use a damn fine offensive coordinator as an excuse. It's lazy, and truth be told, it is misleading. Kellen Moore is not the sharpest play caller, but you have to take what you can get. And Mike McCarthy is going to be worse. For Dallas, that was so clear. They're using Kellen Moore as the scapegoat. He was not a bad offensive coordinator. Cowboy fans just want to portray him as that. That is misleading, it is unacceptable, and it's kind of frustrating as a Steeler fan who had to watch Matt Canada's last season. Kellen Moore is light years better, so I don't want to hear that nonsense. So when the Cowboys next year, Brandin Cooks get knocked down in the second rounds, what are we going to hear then? Fire Mike McCarthy. It's the same theme. The ultimate issue in Dallas is you're paying Dak Prescott a lot of money when he limits you at the end of the day. So I think this move is great for Dallas. You add that to Stephon Gilmore as your cornerback too, and things get scary. I don't want to hear these damn excuses anymore because Cowboy fans love to use them, and I'm just sick and tired of it. It's so frustrating to hear. And I know they're going to use it this year, of course, with Mike McCarthy when inevitably they don't get it done in the end.
That's fair, but I mean,
is it not true?
It is, but it's also not. It's also true that what's held the Cowboys back is their head coaches. I mean, again, I hate to beat the dead horse, but I mean, Jason Garrett and Mike McCarthy, I mean, they're not the guys. We all know that. We know that. Mike McCarthy only won his Super Bowl because of Aaron Rodgers. I just feel like, again, I've always made this point. If you put a better head coach in Dallas that actually has an ability to speak for themselves and control a little bit, they'd be better off. They weren't. He didn't, I should say. Jerry didn't do that. He had a chance. Him and Sean Payton are really close. Apparently they're drinking buddies.
That's what I was going to say. You had the chance at Sean Payton. Any excuse of a head coach, you could have eliminated this offseason. Didn't do it.
And Payton's going to be the best head coach in the cycle in the next 2 or 3 years, probably.
Yeah, you're not getting. I mean, well, yeah, John Harbaugh if he ever decides to come up, but yeah.
Jim, be careful with that.
Jim, sorry, I always.
One last thing, Brandin Cooks. Brandin Cooks might be the most underrated receiver of the 2010s. 6 1,000-yard seasons. Did it with 4 different teams. A myriad of quarterbacks I can't even name to you. He did it with Davis Mills. He did it in New England with Tom Brady, as you guys saw. He did it in New Orleans with Drew Brees. And now he's going to do it again with Dak Prescott. I really do like what Cooks brings to the table, and we saw that dimension with T.Y. Hilton for one game particularly against the Eagles, where that Philadelphia defense had trouble on Christmas Eve really containing the Cowboys down the field, especially with their zone coverage looks. T.Y. for one possession took it over the top, I think on 3rd down. Cooks is going to bring that on a week-in, week-out basis. He's older. He's 29 years old, but he's still at the end of his prime. And for the next 2 years for Dallas, I just can't speak to enough.
Is he really
I think he
29,
might.
John? He's not
29. He was drafted in 2014. I think this move really does in the regular season. Like Brandon said, it can make you the best team. It can make you the team to be in the East, which is a step in the right direction. Are the Cowboys pretenders or contenders? Let me just say this. They are a contender to make it to the, we'll say, NFC Championship game, right? That's reasonable. But in the biggest
that's their
stages,
ceiling.
I think that's their ceiling. Just like San Francisco, Jimmy Garoppolo.
What's the expectation for you?
Oh, definitely an NFC Championship game. You have to.
Divisional round.
Well, so if wait, John, if their ceiling is NFC Championship game and their expectations are NFC Championship game, I would think
The
that
NFC is a top-heavy conference. There's 3 teams.
I don't know. That's why I think maybe
I think their ceiling is NFC Championship game. My expectation is getting knocked out in divisional round or wild card round.
My expectation is divisional round. Their expectation is Super Bowl, but it really will be the NFC Championship
Obviously.
game.
I mean, it's going to be interesting what they do in the draft, though. They've done very well the last several seasons, honestly. Like I said before, since Stephen Jones has really taken over, so they've done a freaking great job in the draft. So it'll be interesting what they do this year.
Mostly, I look at their 2016 class where they took a running back over Jalen Ramsey and then Jalen Smith or Derrick Henry. But
Yeah,
outside of that,
was their one. That's their one blunder that they. Yes. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin.
Yeah, they've nailed.
Travis Frederick. What happened?
Taking Taco Carlton over TJ Watt.
Yeah.
There's gonna be misses. You can't hit every year.
You're right, but those 2 years.
Listen, the one thing you got to say is Stephen Jones being able to talk his father out of not taking Johnny Manziel and taking Zach Martin is just genius in and of itself. Okay,
We'll leave that to Jimmy Haslam.
They were gonna freaking do it in the first round, and then I guess Stephen was like, "No, we can't do it." They got a Hall of Fame guard out of it, so
it pays off.
Mhm.
Yep. I expect the same things from the Cowboys. I don't, unless they show me something this season that is so astronomically better than what they've put out the last couple of years. My expectations for the Cowboys will always be the same.
it's fair.
So
The only reason I go a little hard for the Cowboys is because I see them get so much hate. So I kind of like,
The thing is, I would love to see them win. Like, I used to enjoy watching those Tony Romo led teams when Dak came up as a rookie. Those are fun groups to watch. And honestly, if you're not just a regular Cowboys hater, I don't know how you didn't enjoy watching the Cowboys at those times. But as of right now, like I said, it's the same song and dance. We see the same things. We see the same failures over and over again. It's like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. They do the same thing come playoff time. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. So, like I said, Cowboys are going to be the same in my eyes unless they do something astronomically different.
unless Mike McCarthy gets replaced by an actual
OC.
good head coach.